Good morning. It's Monday and it is July 10th. My clock says it's about 10:30 in the morning. So I'm coming to you today from Blackboard, as you can see, because we want to talk a little bit about the final project that is a part of this course, Bread and Circuses. As you probably know, the final project is worth about 20% of your final grade, and we're going to be doing it in pieces. We're going to do it in parts. That's so that it's a little more manageable and then we can all stay on task. And so that I can give you a little bit of input, a little bit of feedback, and so can your colleagues along the way. So we're here at Blackboard, and let me go ahead and open up our class. And then let's go to information. And from information, I'm going to go ahead and download the syllabus. I have to thank you once again. Some of you have been pointing out some of the typos and some of the misinformation with regard to dates that I sort of communicated, because I revised some of our due dates after I revised the syllabus. So I do apologize for any confusion. Keep that information coming. I really appreciate it. Let's also download the project assignments, and let's take a look at the final project. Again, all this is in the information tab. So let's begin with the final project here and open this one up. The final project, as you know, is sort of our version of a final exam for this class. You have the opportunity to pick a venue or an event that's associated with your city, associated somehow with your town, that helps us, as this statement says, helps us to identify the identity or the culture of the city or the community that supports it. Right? That's what we're after. Some of you really enjoy the River Festival. Some of you have enjoy Interest Arena. Some of you like the Riverwalk, the Keeper of the Plains. All of these things will just be fine. If you're in a different place in the world, say you have the opportunity to be in St. Louis, maybe you want to visit the Arch, the Gateway Arch at St. Louis. Maybe you like the Space Needle in Seattle, or the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, or you're going to get a chance to see the Statue of Liberty this summer, or you've already been. So please feel free to use some other place besides Wichita, some other place besides your own hometown. What we're looking for is an event or a venue or an item of some sort that seems to define the culture of your community or of the community that supports it and the identity of that community. So, as the instructions say, this can range from an art installation at your local museum. This can be a public park. This can be a professional baseball team. Consider concerts, public gardens, bike paths, museums, individual performances. Do a little research. If you at all possibly can, attend the event or attend the venue. Any city will do. And again, you are meant to build upon the work you've already done in class. So please think about the work you've already done in class. Think about the readings you've done. Think about the discussion boards you've engaged in. Try to use materials from class to support what you're doing, to build on your project. The final version of your project can be very creative. This is the creative spirit. So the final version of your project that you turn into us can be a paper, absolutely. It can be an analysis of the role of theater in a community, okay? It can be a photo essay. Perhaps you really get excited about the essay on creolization, this idea of graffiti and its role in society. Maybe you get really excited about that project that's coming up. Hopefully you're reading about it this week, Ivor Miller's work. And you decide, I really want to look at the kind of art that is the people's art, per se. Maybe you're going to find that you really like the large murals that are around your town, and you want to make a photo essay out of that. Fabulous. Whatever you want to do. It can be, again, a poem, it can be a video, it can be a photo essay, it can be just about anything. It can be a paper. It can be anything you want it to be in the end game of this. But right now, we're identifying the venue, we're identifying an event that you want to focus on. And I add in here that it must be a venue or an event that enjoys public dollars, that enjoys public support. I suggest here, think about taxpayer dollars. Most of the places we've been talking about in class require that the community get together and allocate some tax dollars to this event or this place, whether it is the Intrust Arena or which was built with taxpayer dollars, or the Veterans Memorial Park, right? That's a public space that certainly was donated to the Veterans Memorial Association, right, to put up monuments, but a lot of those monuments are also public dollars separate from city money, right? So it could be a combination of things, both public and private. If you get excited about the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception downtown in Wichita, our great cathedral, yes, we have a great separation of church and state in this society, but that cathedral enjoys an extraordinary amount of public financial support, not only from its parishioners, but from the region as a whole. And then, of course, that church, that diocese, engages in a lot of public work that helps our community, from the Lord's Diner to after-school programs to legal aid. There are all kinds of things that diocese associated with the cathedral does for community outreach that we might normally consider that taxpayer dollars would pay for. So there's an interesting, again, connection on resources that somehow supports our community, right? So with that in mind, please pick a topic. Please make sure it's one that enjoys public support. That's typically in taxpayer or donation, right? Or both. And then identify 3 of the goals from our course. Some of you have been doing this all along in your papers. Good job. 3 of the goals from our course that relate to the creative spirit. And that's why I've got this syllabus down here, just to remind you in our syllabus that we have these basic goals, these basic objectives for our class, right? So pick 3. Now, these may change. These may change as you move along, and that's just fine. But pick 3 to start with. So, how do we engage in the creative spirit? How do we do so? Is it by coming together as a group? Is it by developing a flag that represents the city of Wichita? Right? Where does human creativity come from? That's an interesting question, right? Does your venue, does your event help us to explore the origins of human creativity? How does the creative spirit lead us towards transcendence? How do the fireworks on the 4th of July help us to somehow move beyond the individual person living in a democracy to we're here as a group and we're enjoying our history and our culture and the excitement of fireworks, and somehow we're feeling a real strong sense of patriotism. We're feeling about what it means to be American, right? That's that feeling of transcendence. How do you feel when you see small children enjoying an art project, say, at the Wichita Art Museum or the City Arts venue, and they all of a sudden start to understand how if you mix red and blue, you get purple, right? That thrill of discovery, that thrill of education that the creative spirit can take us to. Yeah. Where can we recognize expressions of our creative spirit? We've talked about the role of monumental architecture, statuary, designing a city with public parks. That's maybe coming in the next couple of weeks. So where can we recognize that? It could be statuary, it could be literature, it could be music. I skipped how does the creative spirit link us, connect us together. Most of you have been addressing that quite nicely, thank you. I don't know that we need to work on that one. And then finally, how has the creative spirit, we don't need to work on it in this video, you could certainly use it. How has the creative spirit influenced various aspects of society, history, government, business, science? There's a financial component to the arts. Every year in Wichita, for example, there's a study done. What kind of resources, what kind of revenue did the arts create for the city of Wichita? How many jobs are arts related? How do the arts in Wichita inspire tourism? And so we bring in other people to come experience our city. We just had an article in the Wichita Eagle, I believe it was just this past weekend, where there's some concern that the Water Walk, a new project along the Arkansas River that is a combination of public space and business space, right? Where a lot of tax incentives were given to businesses to build venues along the river. The city of Wichita had hoped by this point to see some actual revenue coming in from Water Walk. There's some concerns that we haven't seen any yet. So what does that mean? So supporting these kinds of venues should sometimes, right, actually increase the revenues for the city. So business related. Also think about education. Exploration Place, a very interesting partnership between the city of Wichita, Sedgwick County, and this idea of creating a very creative space, a very creative museum, if we can call it that, where we're hoping to inspire children to learn about aviation, to learn about nature, farming, agriculture, and to learn about physics, among other things, right? So how does your venue, how does your event help us to see three, let's go for three, of these creative spirit core objectives, right? So your goal, and this is due by Wednesday, July 12th, got it marked right, yes. In the content folder at Blackboard where it says Turn In Papers Here, you will submit your topic, your venue, and then you will also identify three goals that you hope you'll be able to connect to that venue as we continue to work on this project. All right, so that is due July 12th. It's worth 40 points. Mostly you just have to get it in and show me that you've given it some thought, right? So this is one of those assignments that you just don't want to blow off. Get it in on time, get it in and complete, and that's by July 12th. As always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email, please feel free to call. Please also feel free to use the tab at Blackboard called Ask the Prof. Otherwise, keep working. This is a busy week. Once you get past this week, everyone will have completed their writing projects. Yes. And we'll be moving on to sort of wrap up the whole course. I know, can't come soon enough for some of this. But keep at it, keep going. You're doing great work. Talk to you soon.